Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, thanks for tuning in. So I'm so freaking stoked for this video. Like, I'm always excited for my videos, you guys know that, but this is so exciting to me because today we're going to be talking about the new GlamLite paint palette. Guys, when I saw the previews for this palette, I was like, I am getting that, because the way that I view makeup is exactly what this collection from GlamLite represents. Holding it upside down, my bad. The whole point of this collection is just to show people that makeup is a form of art, and it 100% is. That's why I do makeup in the first place, because it just lets me be so creative and it allows me to express myself in an artistic way, but also looking, you know, kind of cute. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, I'm definitely getting that. I know it's gonna be at least pretty good quality because GlamLite has a lot of those palettes that go viral. The hamburger palette, the pizza palette, I think they have like a taco palette. They do all of those, and this one is their most recent one that they just came out with. I literally just got this in the mail today. I came straight home, did all the swatches, comparison swatches from the James Charles palette, and just looked at some of my other colorful palettes so I can let you guys know how this palette compares to them, mostly to the James Charles palette, because that is the most hyped up rainbow palette out there right now, for good reasons. It's a great palette, but I did do tons of comparison swatches of almost all of the shades in this palette to the ones that are similar in the James Charles palette. So if you already have the James Charles palette and you're wondering if this is a palette that you should also get, we will get into that. I also purchased one of the liquid lipsticks and one of the pairs of lashes that are in this collection too. So I'll give you some of my thoughts on those as well. And then the last thing that's gonna be in this video is a tutorial on the eye look that I did with the palette. If you guys are wondering how to get a crazy rainbow eye look, I will show you how to do that at the end of the video. I'll leave timestamps in the description box below, as well as in a pinned comment at the top of the comment section, and all of the timestamps you can click on and it'll take you straight to that part in the video if you're just looking for like swatches specifically or this eye look specifically. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get into it. So when you purchase this palette, it comes in this awesome box. I think this packaging is top notch. It's so awesome. I love how it opens up from the center, and in the box you also receive the brush on this side as well that comes free with it. The lashes also have that same style of box, which I really love the way that it opens. For pricing, the palette that comes with the brush and the box is $45. The lashes are $12 each, and the liquid lipsticks are $14 each. The pans in this palette are larger than a regular size single eyeshadow, but they are smaller than the really large middle section in the James Charles palette. So you do get a lot of shadow in here, which is good because a couple of these, like specifically the orange and the yellow, it's a very soft formula, so I feel like these two shadows would go really quickly, so it's good that there's quite a bit in here. For the size of this palette, it is huge, but it kind of makes sense because of the way that they designed the packaging. It's meant to be like an artist palette. I literally love the whole idea behind this collection so much. Like, it is one of my favorite collections that I've ever seen as far as like the whole idea behind it, because this day and age, like especially with all the rainbow palettes coming out, makeup is really seen as an art form. So I just love this so much, and I'm kind of surprised that nobody else did it yet. Unless they have and I just didn't know it. I really love how they have the little thumb hole here as well, because you can literally hold on to this palette just so easily, especially if you're using this to do a really fun, colorful look on someone else. It's literally like you're holding a palette for an artist, so it's really functional and really easy to hold on to. You don't have to like hold it in awkward ways. You just like literally just put your thumb through and like you're not gonna drop it. It's fine. The palette does have a cover on here that's clear. Again, I love that design because it lets you see all of the beautiful colors underneath it, but it's also protectant of the shadows, obviously. And the other great thing about it is that it flips all the way over to the other side, so that way, you know, it's not in the way. Even though all the shades are named the exact shade of what it is, I love that they put the shade names on there, because a lot of brands don't put the names of the shadows straight on the eyeshadows, and that really bothers me, especially like for the James Charles palette. I had to write all of the names on there because that plastic sheet was gonna kill me. If you guys saw my review on this, I like literally slipped on that thing and almost died. I wrote all the names on this one myself, especially since the names in here are not the exact color. They're like random names. So for the sake of doing tutorials and stuff, it makes it really easy to be able to tell you guys what shade I'm using, even though it's clearly obvious which shade it is, you know, because red is red, orange is yellow, yellow is yellow. I love when palettes have really fun names, but this just makes it really easy. And I really like, because of the whole theme of it being an artist thing, it's like just the straight color. I just love that it's not overcomplicated, basically. Okay, now when it comes to the actual shades of this palette, there's a couple in here that are kind of not the greatest, but a lot of them are really good, and as you can see, are very pigmented and work very well on the eyes. I don't even know how to express to you guys how amazing these shimmer shades in the middle of this palette are. They are seriously some of the best shimmer shades I have ever swatched in my life. Like, they are so good. I really love them, and I also really just love the layout of this palette in general. So they have all of the mattes on the outside and the shimmers on the inside, and they have it in order of like the rainbow, basically, which is so aesthetically pleasing to me. So like, you know exactly where every shade is without basically looking. I'm pretty sure this is typically how a lot of artists actually set up their paint palettes as well. They put it in order, just kind of similar to this. So I just love that they did that. So I did do swatches of this entire palette, and I will throw them up here. First, I did the swatches of all of the matte shades, going in order, starting with the black. And as you can see, some of them don't swatch the greatest, but some of them that don't swatch very good do work really great on the eyes. The shimmer shades, when you swatch them, they're absolutely gorgeous, and they also work amazing on the eyes. I actually did 2 other looks before this one that I didn't really like, because I was trying to do something creative with the shimmer shades and stuff, but I didn't like the way that I did the colors. I don't know. I was trying to do something cool, but I was also trying to use a bunch of different colors, and it just didn't work out. So I ended up going with the standard, really awesome like rainbow look, so that way you guys can see all of the colors on my eyes minus the shimmer shades, because honestly these shimmer shades are so bomb that like you guys don't even need to see them on the eyes. They're good. I did try them on the eyes, and they work just as well as they swatch. They're so good. I forgot to mention to you guys that there's 18 shades in here, and in my opinion it's pretty much the full rainbow, like minus 2 shades. And the shades that I think are missing in this palette are a white, because this white here is actually a shimmery white gold, which is beautiful, but it's not white. So I think it needs a matte white in here, as well as a deep purple. It has a purple, but not a dark purple. We have these purples here, but these are shimmery shades. So I think it needs a deep matte purple. Last thing I want to say about the shadows in the GlamLite palette before we get into the other stuff in this video is I just want to show you a comparison of some other really colorful eyeshadow palettes that I have that I think are popular ones that other people might have. So first of all, we have the Sephora Pro Editorial palette. There's really no comparison when it comes to these shadows. The Sephora one is very unique. There's a couple in there that are similar, but I feel like the Sephora Pro palette is kind of its own thing. There's a lot more unique shades in here than some of these other typical rainbow palettes. And then the Take Me Back to Brazil palette, I just wanted to show you guys because I know a lot of people have this as a drugstore rainbow option. The Take Me Back to Brazil palette, honestly, they do have a lot of similar shades. I didn't swatch any against each other. I like the Take Me Back to Brazil palette, but honestly, I don't think that it's the best quality, and the shadows are very, very tiny. So if there's specific colors that you use a lot, you probably would go through it really quickly. But if you're looking for a drugstore rainbow palette, it works just fine. I just think they're really different palettes because one's drugstore and one's more like high end. And then the last palette that I want to show you guys as far as like similar colors is actually the Juvia's Place Mascarade palette. And the only reason why I'm showing you guys this is not because of an overall rainbow palette, it's just because of the shimmery shades the ones in the middle, like all these purpley turquoise colors, are very similar to this top row in the Juvias Place palette. If you can see, they're very similar shadows. So if you guys already have this Juvias Place palette and you want those shimmery shades, they're really, really similar. It's just that the ones in the Glam Glow palette are much more metallic, but these Juvias Place ones are incredible too. They're so good. So if you already have this palette, I don't think that you need to buy the GlamLite palette just for the shimmer shades if that's the part that you're interested in. I think that's all I want to say about this palette itself. We're gonna get into the tutorial here in 1 second, but I want to talk to you guys about the lashes and the liquid lipstick. So first of all, the lashes, the style that I have is the blue style, and I am wearing them right now, and I love these lashes so much. They're super flexible, like incredibly flexible, very light. They're super wispy, but also dramatic, which is my favorite kind of lash. They're really easy to apply because they are so light and flexible. So I really love these lashes. If you guys like to wear lashes and you're gonna be ordering this palette, if you have a couple extra bucks to spare, well, if you have $12 to spare, I really do think that these would be worth checking out because I really like them. I only have the blue ones, but they had other styles as well, and I really like the blue ones. They're really, really pretty. They were my favorite ones on the website. I like these a lot. I definitely recommend. Next, for the liquid lipsticks, they do have other shades, but the shade that I got is Coral. I didn't realize this before, but it doesn't have the shade anywhere, but I'm assuming it's the shade Coral because it's a coral. It is the shade Coral, and it's $14. It has a mirror on one side. It's got this really cool triangular shape to it. It feels really nice to hold when you're applying it. The doe foot applicator is very standard, and the liquid lipstick inside is actually kind of standard in my opinion as well. This is $14, and I feel like you can buy ColourPop liquid lipsticks for cheaper than that, and they work just as good. Very pigmented. I really do like it, but if you can tell already, it is kind of starting to fade. And I've only had it on for maybe an hour, and I haven't eaten anything, I haven't drank anything, but it is just like kind of fading already. So it's not really worth it in my opinion, although it is really pretty. It's a very thin formula when you put it on, and I don't feel like it's super, super dry either. But again, I just feel like you can get ColourPop liquid lipsticks for way cheaper and a little bit better quality in my opinion. So these are just okay for me. They only have one other shade on the website for the liquid lipstick, which is purple. And for the lashes, they have 4 other styles, so they have a total of 5 styles on the website. The free brush that comes with the palette honestly is not the greatest brush. The only thing that I really saw this brush useful for was to spread primer out on my eyelid, which I actually really liked it for that. I love using a brush like that for this. That's pretty much the only use that I would have for this brush. Other than that, it doesn't really make sense to me. I like the way that it looks. The style of the handle and everything looks like a true like paintbrush from an artist. But honestly, no artist uses a brush that's like this for painting. Honestly, a fluffy brush like this I think would have been smarter for them to put, because this is like a brush that everybody needs. Like a fluffy blending brush is what everyone needs in their collection, and this fluffy style looks more like a paintbrush in my opinion too. So I don't really understand the brush part of it, but you know, I'm still gonna use it for spreading primer on my eyelid. But other than that, I really think they could have done it differently. So the big question is, do you need this GlamLite palette if you already have the James Charles palette? And the answer to that, honestly, I would say you don't. I think the James Charles palette is a really great palette. I love it so much. It is cheaper. You get more shades in here, so you can do a different variety of looks, including non-colorful looks. So I do think the James Charles palette is the better option. And if you already have it, I wouldn't really splurge on this unless you're someone like me who really appreciates a collection for the packaging and you like to collect makeup. I do think it is worth adding to the collection if you like makeup for that. But if you're looking for a colorful palette in general, which one to get, I think the James Charles palette is honestly the better option because of the price point and the how many shades you get in there as well. There are obviously some shades in here that aren't in there, but the James Charles palette has pretty much the whole rainbow in it. So it's not enough to say, hey, this one's worth getting as well. Does that make sense? But I really do like this palette a lot. I think it is incredible. I really love like just the packaging in general. I really like like that I have this palette. Like for someone like me who really loves to purchase makeup and likes to collect certain things, I think it's worth it. But yeah, that's all my thoughts on the palette. Okay guys, so that's everything I want to mention about the palette and the collection. So if you guys are ready for the tutorial, we're gonna go ahead and start that right now. Alrighty guys, so starting out as usual, I'm using my Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Eden, and then I'm just using that free brush that came with the paint palette to spread it out. And I will say it is good for this because you can get around the brows really well. So starting out with the yellow shade, I'm going to put this in the transitional area on my eye, but I'm not bringing it all the way to the inner part of my eye. We're gonna use a gradient of the colors to bring it in closer to the eye. So with the orange shade, I took it in a little bit further on the inner part of my eye and a little bit below that yellow transitional shade. And at the ends of my eyes here, I'm kind of flicking it out just so it's not like a super round look, but not a super angled look either. And I'm just blending these two shades together. I also did use a smaller brush for the orange shade, and then I used an even smaller brush for this red shade, which I went ahead and took all the way into my inner corners. I wanted it to be like a gradient from red to orange to yellow for the transitional area of my eye, and as well as like the center portions of my eye. So you can see here that I'm taking the red and I'm just again going one step below that orange shade and blending the red and orange together. And you really have to build these shades up. It takes a lot of building. So as you can see, I'm going back in to each previous color and kind of bringing it out again, and also blending the shades together at the same time. Next, I dipped into burgundy and the brown shade at the same time, and I'm using these two shades to deepen up my outer V area, as well as very, very, very lightly bringing it into the crease area on my eye. I didn't take any extra product into the crease part of my eye. What I did was I started on the very edge of the eye where it's really dark, and then just took the leftovers and brushed it into the crease. Now we're gonna do a cut crease, and cut creases are one of my favorite things to do. They really make the eye color pop a lot, and I know that they can be kind of like intimidating. You just have to go really slow and be really patient, and Tarte Shape Tape is my favorite concealer to do this with. Then I'm going to take the yellow shade, and I don't know why I'm using this giant fluffy brush. I did switch over to the smaller middle-sized brush, and I put the yellow shade on the inner corner, and then I took the orange shade on the center part of my eye. And you have to do like a lot of patting motions when you're doing a cut crease, because if you like drag, it's just going to drag it around, doesn't look good. Then I took the red and I again patting it on and blending it in with the orange. And as you can see, there is tons of fallout with these eyeshadows. You really want to do your eyes before your foundation, because otherwise it just gets really crazy and really messy because you have to build them up so much. So I finally ended up taking some extra powder, and because at this point I had already done my foundation, but I took some extra powder underneath my eyes so I could catch some of that fallout. And on the lower lash line, I'm just going through the rainbow. So I did yellow, green, blue, and then purple, and back to burgundy to kind of blend it up into that brown burgundy shade that I put on my outer corner on the top part. Then I'm just flicking off all the extra powder, and I'm highlighting my inner corner with the shimmery white gold in the palette. It's, oh my god, guys, this color is literally so beautiful. I can't even explain to you, and I feel like it doesn't do it justice in the video as well. I also put it on my brow bone to highlight it. Then I'm just lining my eyes with a black liner and putting some mascara on. I'm using the false lashes in the collection. So this mascara is just the L'Oreal Carbon Black. I always use it underneath my lashes. Then I'm doing a super, super teeny tiny liquid liner on my lashes to kind of hide the band, and then applying the blue lashes from the collection. Lashes really take a look to the next level. And then I'm using the white in the palette to highlight my face. Again, I'm obsessed with this shade. It looks so good as a highlight as well. It's super pretty. Then we're going to take the liquid lipstick from the collection in the shade Coral, and you guys already heard my thoughts on it. It's just okay, but you know, it doesn't really go the best with this look because it's already such a bright look, but I wanted to try the lipstick out anyways. I think normally I would put like a nude or something like that with this look. And that, my friends, is the finished look. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you guys are able to make a better decision on whether or not to purchase this palette, or if you're just curious about the palette in general. I really appreciate you clicking on this video. If you're not subscribed already, I would really appreciate it if you considered subscribing. I do videos every week, and I would love to have you here. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!